let's see. I am Tenille Stewart, and I'm coming to you from, wait, am I? Yes, I'm coming to you from at least Facebook, YouTube, and if Instagram wants to cooperate, here we go. So, hi, welcome. If you do not know me, my name is Tenille Stewart, and I help women who've been diagnosed with lupus go from confused and discouraged to healed, hopeful, and in control of the medical narrative. And here we are today. Welcome in. Please leave me a comment and let me know that you are seeing me on all of the places I'm supposed to be. I would appreciate it. So, today's episode, we have a really awesome guest that I'm excited about. We had a podcast beforehand, like January. It was January. We had in January. Wow, how was that months ago already? The 2025 is trying to escape, huh? All right. So we had a podcast in January and it was really good. The only issue was we were volunteering and it was, not our preferred space and things were awry. And I would just love it for everyone to actually get to hear hello from Facebook. Hi. Everyone to hear what really was supposed to be going on. Because my goodness, this man's story is insane. And what made me think of we were planning to do a redo anyways, but what made me think of it is I have been thinking about my eyesight and my vision, both, with my eyes and without my eyes, is that I wear glasses and I've been wearing glasses in the 4th grade. And when I was in the hospital in 2021, 22, they lost my glasses when I went in for surgery. So when I came back out, I had no glasses and I went months without wearing my glasses. And I realized that just how bad my vision was. And when I went back to get new glasses and get my eyes tested, they said that my vision had improved. And I realized that my vision had improved. Hey, YouTube. My vision had improved because I was working the muscles in my eyes. And they do not tell you that, you're going to have to go through some hard things to get to some good things, even if that's your muscles in your eyes or the muscles in your body. Like, it sucks to do every workout, but when you get to where you want to physically, you are stronger. You're not just looking good. You are able to lift more weight. And this man is able to lift like the world on his shoulders, even though his vision is impaired. You would never know. Hey, Instagram. Thank you for letting me know. You would never know that he's been visually impaired his entire life, and what an incredible story he has to share with the world about that. And he also uses his, amazing story, his trials and tribulations, to help other people that are going through different and, catastrophic trials and tribulations, child cancer, like all kinds of stuff. This man is helping people with, and I would love for him to tell you, instead of me babbling about what I think it is, he can tell you what it actually is. Welcome to the stage, Karey Carbaugh.
Good morning, you all. Actually, it's probably afternoon for most of you, but thank you, Tenille. You're too kind. This woman, you talk about a rock star. This woman, so I have known, how long have we known each other? More than that, because before COVID.
Years. It's just I think you were in ambassadors, right? Regular ambassadors. Yeah. So like we've been in the same circle for a hot minute. It's just we didn't get to be friends until a few years ago.
And I had no idea. This woman's story, I knew her for several years. I had no idea.
Yeah, same, my guy. Like, we walk around with the cape on and people just, everyone has a story. I just am particularly interested in yours right now. So let's get to it. Can you please explain your diagnosis first of all, so that people know? Because he's looking right now, and he's looking like he can see us, but he sees way different than we see. So, explain what that is, please, and thank you.
I can see some. I'm considered legally blind, which is anything below 20/400 is considered legally blind. What that means, let me explain it in terms of my vision. My good eye is 20/650. What that means is that a person, like assuming yourself has 20/20 vision, what you would see at 650 feet away, so roughly, what would that be? Little over 1 football field away, is approximately what I see out of my right eye at 20 feet away.
That is wild. Wild.
And if that blows you away, my bad eye, I didn't even know they could measure like this until about 20 years ago. My bad eye is 20/1050.
Oh my gosh. That was your good eye you were talking about. I forgot. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was my good eye.
So like,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So my bad eye, what you would see, or what a normal person with normal vision would see at about 1050, about 1,000 feet away, which is what, like 3 football fields away, a little over 3.5 football fields away, 3-4 blocks away. What you would see 3 or 4 blocks away is approximately what I can see 20 feet away.
Oh my gosh. That's nuts. That's nuts. Considering I've been not wearing my glasses to strengthen my eyes lately, because I realized I wear my glasses all the time. I love my glasses. They're hearts. I'm like obsessed with them. The first time I've ever loved glasses. And I realized when I was not wearing them for whatever reason, I was like, dang, my vision seems like it's getting worse. Like I feel like I can't see as well. And to think I think that with my vision, and it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. That you can't see things 20 feet away that I can see, like football fields away, is crazy to me. And you just walk around normal, everything's cool, like awesome. It's wild. I love that. So explain to the audience about, like, first of all, I didn't ask the first question I always ask everybody. Who are you, where are you from, and what do you do?
Oh, that.
Yeah. Sorry, I got excited. Your story's crazy. Okay, go ahead.
We sort of did that last time, but yeah, I'm Karey Carbaugh, and by day, I work at a community college in the office of the registrar doing data analysis and helping to manage student records. It's the largest community college in Colorado. And then the rest of me, I am still working on exactly what my podcast is going to be, but as you mentioned earlier, Tenille, it's definitely helping people that are struggling. My passion is working with youth, and so I enjoy working with young people. I've done youth ministry work for most of my adult life.
Yeah. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Karey is he's a smarty pants, okay? And all this stuff that, like, my brain does not work like mathematically really, or like it's a bunch of stuff. All the potholes that I would fall into, if Karey's in the group, he'll help me. He'll be like, oh, the number is this, and oh, it's easy. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. So tell the audience, please, the story you told me about when the first time we talked about this. You told me, like, when your family figured out that you had visual impairment, and then what your dad said about it blew me away.
Okay. Yeah, I was 4 years old. Prior to that, I had hydrocephalus, which is water on the brain. A lot of people say, well, why didn't your parents realize until you were 4 years old that you couldn't see very well? It's because they were more focused on survival. Had I been born 5 years sooner, I would not be sitting here talking to you today, because they wouldn't have had the surgery that they performed on me.
Ooh. Thank you, Jesus. Wow, that's great.
So they performed the surgery. They didn't know for sure because all the tests came out negative, but my head was growing more than it should have been. And I guess I've been told when they would lay me down in the crib that if my head got below the rest of my body, I would just scream
Oh,
from the pressure.
yeah.
So they performed the surgery. The shunt buckled when I was about 3 years old. They removed it. I've never had any recurrence since then. So they've diagnosed that part as self-arrested hydrocephalus.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I didn't realize that part. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I heard that.
yeah, so the stent, it buckled, which means it wasn't working anymore. And then
like a
it was
garden hose.
fine.
Yeah, like a garden hose that gets kinked. So it wasn't draining fluids anymore. But my head didn't start growing again. So they removed the tube, and everything from that part has been just fine since then. But
Wow.
I explain that partly because that explains why my parents didn't know when I was younger.
Mhm.
And also the diagnosis for my vision, I'm not sure I've ever shared this with you either, Tenille, is optic nerve atrophy. So the optic itself is damaged. Many doctors disagree. Some doctors think it may have been caused by the hydrocephalus. Some aren't sure and think maybe probably not, but they really don't know.
Yeah.
They really don't know
Wait,
the cause.
so is your case, like, is that diagnosis extremely rare?
Not really. I've met a lot of other people. Optic nerve hypoplasia is more common, which is an underdeveloped optic nerve.
Okay.
But optic nerve atrophy is not all that uncommon.
Okay. So it could have really been anything because um even if you didn't have the hydra thingy, what's it? Um
Hydros-
yes, exactly what you said. Yeah. If you didn't have that, it could have still happened because other people have it. Okay, that's very interesting.
Correct.
I didn't know that part. Yeah,
Yeah.
wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so another interesting thing that you told me is what your dad said when they wanted to send you away. Can you go
Yeah.
into
So I
that
was
story?
4 years old, and my mother was basically told by the doctor when he diagnosed me as legally blind to send me to the state school and forget about me. Basically, institutionalize me, send me to the state school, forget about me.
Mm.
Um, the doctor's office was a block from home, actually, the house that I'm living in now that I later bought from my parents.
Oh,
The
wow.
doctor's office was a block from home. She had to call my dad to come pick her up after receiving that news.
Yeah.
And my basically said over my dead body, I'm
Yeah.
not going to send my kid to an institution where he's going to be living in a dormitory, institutional style as a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thank God. Thank God. Like, that is just,
absolutely.
you have people take chances on people that are differently abled. Okay. Like, you do not know what they're capable of. This man
Exactly.
travels on his own. He has a great job. He is a great friend. He is like funny and lively and sings and dances, and he's gonna be in Carnegie Hall in a few days. Like, I'm telling you, if
Yesterday.
his parents, yeah, if his parents had not come to that conclusion, like, my son is going to be able to do whatever he wants, he would not have been there. So believe in the best possible outcome, and it's possible. He is walking, talking, breathing proof that it is possible.
My parents' philosophy was always that I would have to compete with sighted people the rest of my life. I might as well start in kindergarten.
Hello, and he's been doing it. I don't think the first few years I knew you were had any visual difficulty at all, because you just kind of
That's
walk around. And yes, and you have friends around you that are always like, "Oh, step that way, do this." Like, they just lightly adjust him, and he's just on his way, and it's fine. Like, it's I've never seen him like really have huge difficulty, because people are all around him that know, and just kind of like, "Here you go, move over there, do that, there's a step, do whatever." Super easy, no cane or anything. How come no cane?
Um, A few reasons. First of all, I'm usually carrying more stuff than I would have extra hands to hold the cane, just
Same.
because that's how I roll. Coffee in one hand, whatever in the other hand. That's
Yeah.
part of it. Part of it is I've never wanted to call attention to it. If you're walking around with a cane, people will treat you differently. Um, they'll. I always think of the old story. I don't know if it was ever true or not. I'm sure it probably happened at some point. The Boy Scout trying to be nice, and he helps the old lady across the street. Well, she didn't want to cross the street.
Oh.
And so things like that. People will come up and try to help with things you don't need help with.
Yeah, I can relate. I have a bunch of different apparatus that I've used. Have a walker, a cane. I don't know what these things are, like sticks that your arms go in, but I have those. I have a wheelchair, and at some point, I have used every single one of them. Not my favorite. Don't love them. Um, but yes, it does call attention. People tend to ask you, "Are you okay? Do you need help? Do you want me to?" Like, no, I got it. But like, you don't want to seem ungrateful either. So then, I get it. Um, so now I'm you're sideways. Yeah. See how he gets close to the camera because he can only see us that close. So um but now do you on your podcast talk about life with vision impairment, or what are you talking about on your podcast? Because I'm gonna send everyone there. So be prepared. Okay. Everyone's gonna go listen. You're sideways. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Are we still together on here? Did you move your phone? Uh-oh. Let's get you. Oh, we're back, I think. I'm gonna look at some comments. We got beautiful wisdom here. Thank you for sharing. I'm gonna highlight that one. Um, Thank you so much, Karen. That is not a vocabulary word that exists in my life. Um, Hydrocephalus. I appreciate it. Great afternoon, Sonia. I appreciate all of the love in the chat. Trying to get Karey back on track here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Anyhow, while he's gone, let us talk about life and struggle, because he very much seems to glide through his life without much issue, and he wasn't even expected to be able to go to school with regular people. You are muted, Karey. And let me unmute you and see if it works. Nope. And I guess like we're not supposed to have a it says your mic isn't connected, so I can't unmute you any further. I guess we're not supposed to have like a regular schmegular podcast because every time we try, there's some kind of weird technical difficulty. Last time I couldn't see anything, so I was just doing it blind and hoping that people could see things. And we were in an office, so I had no control over what was in the background or around us. People trying to get their lunch boxes out of the office, all kinds of stuff. And this time, I don't know what's happening. So, listeners who don't have the visual, um, you're doing great because there's nothing exciting happening on the screen. However, if Karey cannot come back, we will end it. But I just want to say that I'm super grateful right now. Like specifically this week, I've been super grateful for my senses, because I cannot imagine having that much difficulty seeing and it being normal or feeling okay or feeling like I can do things. Like the things that I have issues with are like pain and like weakness and that kind of stuff. But even with those, I complain and I don't do as well as I could because I use it as an excuse sometimes and that kind of stuff. Um, when it doesn't have to be like that. Like being grateful that I can see it all with or without glasses, that I can walk at all without an assisted anything is a blessing. And I am grateful. And every time I want to whine and complain, I will make sure to think about Karey and how he makes this look easy. Uh, I don't know if you were hearing when he was describing how his sight works. Uh, Things we can see at a football field away, that's what he sees up close. And that sounds so scary and disorienting, but it's been his whole life. So he does not know any different. And he does not feel like he's missing out on anything. And he literally isn't, because the way he moves through the world is impressive. And I commend him and his parents and, everyone who's been involved in bringing him up, because he has such a huge heart. I wanted him to tell stories about his volunteer work. He volunteers with the youth Bible studies and camps and stuff like that. There's been several kids. He did his college paper on when working at a camp for cancer kids, and some of those stories he told me were incredible. We might have to have him back on for a third time, and that's okay because he's awesome. I'm gonna get him, like, I don't know, a computer or something so that uh, this stream goes smoother. But I want to thank y'all for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and end it. I'll read some comments. So true, Karey is a blessing. It's all good. It's about the message being delivered. Yes, he does. I feel the same about you, Tenille. Our experiences shape us, shape so much of us. We have choices as how to carry it. Thanks, Karey and Tenille. Thanks, Karen. I don't know why that makes me want to cry. I'm not feeling so great today, so uh, that feels good. That people are looking. Oh, he's back. Maybe he can close us out with a good story. Karey, hello, you're back. We're excited. Okay,
I
so
have no idea what happened.
same. um, so we're running kind of long now because if you could, please.
Yeah.
I want one more story before we do the
Part
whatever
three.
we can find. Yeah, can you tell? I love that story you were telling about
Do you want me to?
Yes, please. That would be great.
Where were we before we
Um,
were interrupted?
right. We were talking about your parents, and you said your
And school.
I said,
What?
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
going to
yeah.
regular
So
school.
they were not going to send me to the state school. So this was before there were any federal laws or even state laws requiring education for children with disabilities. So they advocated at the state level and they put me in kindergarten with no program. And about halfway through my kindergarten year, they contacted my dad and said, "We found the funding. What kind of program would you like?"
Oh my gosh.
And my
You're
dad said,
the luckiest human. What?
"Pretty much." He said, "I
What?
don't know educators. I want a good one."
That's nuts. So the program didn't exist before you were around. The
Correct.
surgery didn't exist before you were born. What? Yo, I have chills because if you do not advocate for your people, like you were at the beginning, you were at the beginning. That's insane.
They hired
Wow.
teacher that started my first grade year, and she stayed till after I graduated. She became like a second mother to me. And I was not the first to graduate from high school in Longmont, Colorado, where I live, but I was the first to go from kindergarten through high school with a vision disability and grad.
Wow. That is nuts. Nuts, nuts, nuts. Next time we have a podcast, I'm sure we'll have another one. I want to see baby pictures of you. Did you ever have like big, thick glasses? I love babies in big, thick glasses. It's so cute.
They're like not to walk around, because the glasses that I've got are like for reading. You've seen my big, thick reading glasses.
Yeah. That's kind of normal though.
Pretty much all I've had.
Wow.
But because of those, I have to read really close.
Yeah.
Because since the eyeball itself is fine, I've never really had glasses for walking around.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. That's
It's
so
all
different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all the nerve. Wow.
Yeah. In fact, how they can detect this, I don't understand. But my correction, if the nerve were to be fixed,
mhm.
my lens correction is less than a 0.05.
Oh my gosh. Yo, you have better eyesight than me.
Eyeball itself is fine.
That's so funny. Dang, that's wild. Okay. All
What
right.
was really cool, I'll just throw this in. What was really cool is several years ago at one of my exams, now with technology, instead of dilating my eyes, they can actually take a picture. And then they don't have to do the drops to dilate your eyes and so forth. Well, what was cool about that is she was able to put it up on a computer screen and make it really, really big and point out to me where the damage is on the optic nerve.
Wow.
I mean, it wouldn't have meant anything to me if she hadn't been there to interpret it, but you could actually see where it kind of narrows down. And then,
That is so cool.
so that
Yo,
was kind of a cool thing with technology.
you're at the cutting edge of everything. Okay. I don't know why, but everything
Well,
follows you around. Like if it's gonna get done, it's gonna get done because Carey's here. That's how it works, apparently.
well, I don't know about
So
that, but
tell everyone, if you were gonna leave them with anything, what would you leave them? And then after that, just where they can find you.
sure. Wow, that's always a tough question. I would just say never give up.
Mm,
Whatever you're going through, don't give up. God's got a plan. As Tenille
amen.
knows, I'm a believer. I don't push my belief on anybody, but God's got a plan. One of my favorite verses is when Jesus is talking about the blind man, and he says, his disciples asked him whose sins caused this man to be blind, because that was one of the beliefs at that time, was that if you had a disability, an illness, or a sickness, that was caused by something you did. And
Mm.
Jesus looks at his disciples and says, no one's sins caused this. This happened so that God's works could be revealed in this person.
Wow.
And that's something I've always, and I would encourage your listeners, knowing a little bit about your space here, I would share that with you. The same thing. God has a purpose. He will use
I'm so
you.
grateful for that, because I've had someone in my family tell me, like, yeah, this happened to you because of whatever, like you, and that is so mean. And you need to send me that Bible verse, because I need to look at that.
I will. I'll send. I'm
You.
trying to remember the reference. I'll send it.
I appreciate
I will
that.
definitely
Wow.
send it. I mean, it's specifically about blindness, but I think it really addresses that whole thing.
I agree. I agree. So tell everyone where
That
they can
whole
find
attitude.
you. Yes. Um,
Um,
you're on a delay, sir.
we didn't get to go into some of the stuff next year. I'm
Yeah.
delay.
Yeah, a little
My
delayed.
my internet must be wonky. That must be the problem. We will go into more of my volunteer stuff on another one, but you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at just my first and last name. So Karey Carbaugh, Karey Carbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a number after the YouTube one. I can never remember the number, but if you search me for that, I do go live at this point on Facebook Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. I have my podcast. So I'd love to welcome your listeners in. And yeah, that's the best place to find me.
Yes. And he is giving all the know-how of how he does stuff every day. And he always hits with the Bible verses. He always hits with the good vibes and good lessons. Yeah. So, and if you're at Carnegie Hall in 10 days or less, he's going to be singing there with his choir. No big deal. So, yes.
The 16th, we will be premiering. We'll be premiering a piece called A Vision Unfolding, which is a piece on social justice on the 16th. And that's actually with the poet is the one that you know that's also a lupus survivor.
Yeah.
The one we talked about.
Yeah. I mean,
she'll be performing on stage.
Yeah. She's a comedian too. She's very funny. So I will end it here. I really appreciate you being here, man. This is just such a good lesson and such just a blessing to have this kind of information on the internet on my page. This is incredible because he was born, with this disability, and he has lived such an amazing life since. And all the people around him that were drawn to him have never given up on him. And you can have that too, or your children could have that too. The theme of the whole podcast is never give up. You don't have time. We don't have time for that. We're busy. We have things to do, places to go, So, y'all have a wonderful day. Stay happily healed. Hey, Daryl from Michigan. I hope you got good chunks of this podcast. You go ahead and listen to the replay. If you didn't, it'll be there. Have a lovely day. Stay happily healed. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.